Hello, everyone. I want to grab your attention for just a brief moment to talk about the importance of setting healthy boundaries. I want to have this conversation at the beginning of the week to encourage you to set these boundaries for yourself to protect your energy. A lot of us have family who feels that they shouldn't have any boundaries, and that's just not fair to you and your time. It's important that, we inform these people in our lives that we find to be important, that we love. We have to inform them on how to treat us, because if we don't set these examples for them, they will overstep our boundaries each and every time, sometimes unknowingly. And even though we're adults, not everyone acts that way. And I think it's key for us to be able to evaluate ourselves. And also it's important for us to self-evaluate the company that we keep. And this will help protect us from people who will misuse us and also mismanage our time. It will also help to identify those who are inconsiderate of our love and care that we pour into these relationships. And unfortunately, sometimes we don't return the same favor. I think it's essential, that we remain cognizant of these interactions, because we have to be able to consciously make decisions that will bring us peace of mind. And we need to know the difference between the givers and the takers. And we also need to make sure that we are surrounding ourselves around people who are equally supportive, that are equally yoked and matches our efforts in these relationships. We also need to know the true definition of friendship. There is no marriage without friendship. There is no true authenticity and transparency without friendship. And so any type of ship is a give or take. It's a compromise of both parties. So think about this. What are you gaining or losing from your ships? Think about the relationships that you have in your life. What are you gaining and what are you losing? Are you feeling drained from the relationship that you're currently in? And think about, what about your friendships, right? Are you seeing the red flags and continuing to push forward despite what you know in your heart is true about them? And if the answer is yes, then what is preventing you from making a change? I want to give you a few examples of identifying whether or not you're in a toxic ship. Let's just do this friendship one, for example. So if you have friends who are constantly asking for things, maybe they're asking for you to pay their bills, or maybe they're expecting you to pay every time you guys have lunch together, or expecting things from you, free things. I don't know. They're abusing your time, right? And you don't see your sharing of time in that friendship as mutual, meaning you can't pick up the phone and call them if you're having an issue. You could never call them and ask them for money. Just the feeling isn't mutual. The actions and interactions within that ship aren't mutual. Then it's important that you mention that to them first. And if they don't understand how they are mistreating you, then that's your invitation to make your exit plan out of that ship. The reality is some people are actually completely unaware of their behavior. So it's your job to make them aware. Another toxic giveaway is a person who makes you feel bad for putting yourself first. You'd be surprised how many people actually do that. If you're not okay in your life, maybe, I don't know, you lost your job, you lost someone close to you, maybe you're just having a bad time, in your life, then any relationship that you try to have with other people will not be okay, because you have to be healed from that before you can be present for anyone else. And a true friend has to understand that. I would advise not to force yourself to be a part of anything that you're not ready to be a part of during your downtime. It's time for you to heal. It's time for you to meditate. Time for you to be to yourself. Oneness, pray, whatever it takes for you to get back to yourself. And so you can't be a part of someone else's problem until you fix your own. And that's where a lot of us who are givers fall short. We want to give our time to everyone. We want to help everyone. And we forget to be there for ourselves. So toxic relationships are very similar to toxic friendships, right? And typically people who are toxic in relationships know that you're the giver. They know you're an empath. They know that they can just continue to take. And here's the thing about that. When you love someone more than you love yourself, you're already setting yourself up for disappointment. Because the key thing for you to take away from this, and I always promote self-love, self-care. You must love yourself more than anything else in this world to have a healthy relationship with the one you love, with your family, your friends, even your children, especially your children. Toxic relationships come in so many different forms. We see it all around us every day. Unfortunately, there are some people who are completely unaware, as I said before. They're being selfish. They don't know it. Inconsiderate of your time. They didn't mean to. And your mental well-being. But it is your job, as I stated earlier, to make them aware of it. And you don't have to continue to be overstepped and overlooked. Your feelings should never be overlooked with a true person that's in an equal mutual ship with you. Your efforts towards that relationship should be acknowledged. And also, the layout that you've set to maintain healthy ships should be respected by the ones that share that ship with you. Those who make you feel guilty for addressing issues that make you unhappy in the ship is a true red flag, and you have to acknowledge that. People who are self-absorbed or people who only care about what they care about. They don't care about what you're going through. They want you to care about what they're going through, but they don't care about your problem. That's a problem. Real ships are those of compromise, as mentioned previously. So those who care will do it effortlessly. You won't have to remind them, and you will not have to bring that to their attention. And, although this sounds really bad, these red flags may cause a dent in the ship, but these are issues that can be fixed if both parties are willing to do so. So, however, though, remember this, there are some people that just simply will not change. And we have to be aware of that, and we have to acknowledge that. And it will primarily be up to you at the end of the day to make the decision whether or not you want to stay or go. Me personally, I advise people, if you're someone who's a giver and this person continues to take from you and they're not changing, all they're doing, honestly, is draining you. And my best advice to you is just to turn your back and walk away for good. So please keep in mind that, in your process of shedding dead weight, in your process of being, consciously aware of your own value and your own mental health, you're going to lose some friends. You're going to lose relationships, and you have to be okay with that. It's going to shock you. Some of these relationships that you lose, you're going to say to yourself, man, I thought both sides valued this relationship. You're going to have to be strong enough to be okay with the result of you growing, and also be comfortable with the results of you setting these healthy boundaries in order to increase your mental health, your overall happiness, and your sanity. So in closing, guys, I hope that today's brief talk about setting healthy boundaries has helped you realize certain people that you need to address about these kind of situations. And maybe I'm hoping that it sheds some light and more insight on the people that you need to turn your back on and walk away from. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that truly matters is you. Self-love is the best love, guys. And so I hope and pray that you guys have a blessed week. Happy Monday. And I'll be talking to you guys again soon. All right. So thank you guys, as always, for tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast.